Welcome to the auditorium where we're going to show you how to do a bunch of cool science experiments.
Hopefully.
Ooh, we're going to be doing a bunch of science experiments with things that grow. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and just in time, we have our fellow co-host Meredith coming down to demonstrate lab safety for us. See, we're already all in our uniforms with goggles and aprons, but Meredith is not yet. So
we can't do science if she's not ready.
So she's here to put on an apron and put on some goggles.
Yeah, we have aprons. Not enough goggles. It's cool.
All right. So, Emmeline, what's a rule of lab safety?
Well, the most important rule is to cover your eyes. Even if you're doing an experiment that doesn't involve strong chemicals, there's always stuff that you need to do to protect your eyes. Even if you wear eyeglasses, that is not enough. So Lucas, as you can see, is wearing goggles over his glasses.
6 eyes.
It's really painful.
Another thing is putting your hair up. So even if you're not dealing with fire, it's very important.
Because if you don't want to lean over and get your hair stuck in the solution.
I don't have any hair ties.
Do you have any hair ties?
Yeah.
Oh, in this particular case,
You might want to...
Anyone have any hair ties?
We can play a quick little game of tell us which hosts are demonstrating proper lab safety and which hosts are not.
Raise your hand.
if you're in the audience.
Oh, wait.
We'll call on you if you raise your hand in the audience.
Am I demonstrating proper lab safety? Raise your hand if yes. Okay, not everyone.
How about Charlie?
No.
How about me? Oh, there you go.
How about me?
No.
Aw.
Does it do anything? Okay.
Woo, Joey.
No.
What about me?
My thing.
You need to cover your eyes.
We don't have any more goggles. They're all broken.
Woo. Yikes.
It's fine.
They're broken
I just
from the
won't touch all the
harmful
dangerous
chemicals.
chemicals. Oh wait, that's what I'm doing right now.
For different experiments, another thing you might want to use is gloves. Today
Oh,
we are
that's
not
true.
needing gloves at the moment, but keep in mind for
Yes.
lab safety.
It's very important, Emmeline. Thank you for bringing that up.
Here.
Charlie, do you want to
anyone
talk
have any
about
hair ties?
anything? Okay.
So can we explain what our first experiment is
Yes.
going to be?
Are we ready yet, Emily?
We're ready for one of them, so yes, we
All
are
right.
ready.
Which one are we ready for?
So we're gonna start with our Coke and Mentos experiment.
Ooh.
I don't know. So
So are we going to make a hypothesis about this?
yes. So one of the things we're going to teach you guys today is how to make hypotheses.
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis. Well, there are multiple of them, so they're all going to make one. So there's
Yeah,
multiple.
but how to make a hypothesis.
How to make a hypothesis.
Whatever.
And how to make
My-
predictions.
Bugs
So-
My
Bunny.
hypothesis is that this will make a mess.
Yes. Would the host, aside from
Fairly
Charlie,
certain about that
like
one.
to share a hypothesis or prediction
For what?
about our experiment that we're going to do?
What's that?
This is not for this. We're doing this one right now.
I have one. Pick
Share
me.
it. I pick you.
Okay. I'm gonna take a wild guess and
Yes.
say that if
Yeah,
I was
we're gonna-
speaking, that if you take this Mento and put it in,
One singular Mento.
it's a Mento,
Don't think that's
and you
what
put it in there, it'll whoosh over. Right? Okay.
Well,
Alright.
let's find out.
The
We'll see if it's correct.
provides
I think
a
what will happen is
surface
it will
for
float,
the
then it will
carbon
turn
dioxide
brown from all the
to-
Coca-Cola going into it, and then it will sink. That's what I think will happen. Anyone else?
I might second that.
I think that nothing will happen.
I think that the
Funny.
Mentos,
Hey, Molly.
when added to the Coke, will provide surface for the carbon dioxide in the Coke to, form bubbles, and then
We're here to learn about
it'll
hypotheses,
be really
not
quick
science.
and it'll blow
Have
up.
you done
Let's-
this
let's
experiment
get on with
before?
I have done this before.
Okay.
And here
so
we go.
what Meredith is going to do is she's going to take 3 to 4, or
it'll blow
that's 5 Mentos,
So much what? So much nothing?
and we're going to put them into the Diet Coke all at one time, okay? So you want to line them up so you can drop them like this.
And then
Drippity
remove your
droppity.
hand quickly.
Let's get them in there.
All right.
How many are we doing?
Line them up.
It's not going to leak. Oh, it might.
Oh, and there it goes. That was
Nice.
really quick.
So we all have socks on. Okay. So what
I am
happened?
wearing my moccasins. Well,
This is why I'm over here.
Woo! That was fantastic. Okay. It's okay.
I hit a piece of a boom mic. I
We
think.
only have one
Pick it up
bottle
and
of
put it
Coke.
back in.
All right. So would anyone in the audience like to tell us what they think happened?
Charlie, close your mouth.
Raise your hand.
That was okay. Lucas, what do you think happened?
I think the Mento was magic, so it made it bubble up.
That's a good.
That's
That's a
not
good
science.
hypothesis.
Wait,
Lucas.
Charlie, what really happened?
I just said it before. I was right.
Oh,
Well, let's say it again.
And humble, too.
It, so I
know.
believe it was the Mentos providing surface area for the carbon dioxide to rapidly turn into gas, come out of solution, and that caused a very rapid expansion of the whole mixture. It's
That was crazy. Did you see how before they had all left
And
her hand, it
geyser.
already blew up?
An
Guys,
important
it
thing
went
about lab
boom.
experiments is that your hypothesis does not always have to be correct. You can then revise it at the end, figure out why you were wrong or what happened instead.
Another important thing that Miss Cairns always says is, it's not whether your hypothesis is right or wrong, it's whether it was supported. And you get points off if you say right or wrong. It kind of stinks or whatever.
All right,
And
so what are
you're
we?
also not supposed to drink the Coke, even though it looks really good.
How did that?
Interesting.
Why is that?
Just
know that.
because it's part of materials of a lab, and you're not supposed to. Like,
Oh,
eat
I thought
your
you meant
lab
because of the
stuff.
Mento.
No, in reality, it would be fine to drink it because it's just sugar, but no.
All right, so what is the next experiment we're jumping into, Emily?
Well, on our topic of things that grow, and on our theme of wintertime, because, you know, it's December, we're going to do... What? What? I made a mess. I'm sorry. We're going to do an experiment with instant snow. So, Lucas, would you like to do this? Oh, sure. All right. So we're going to make a hypothesis. Right here we have our instant snow powder. What time is it? And we're going to add some water to it, and we want to try to figure out beforehand what we think will happen. Okay, so hosts, do we have hypotheses? What we think's
Are
going
we
to
putting
happen?
it in the volcano?
Yeah, Lucas, if you have to leave, you can have someone else do it.
I think the volcano is going to blow up.
It's not the volcano. We're putting
No.
water into the beaker that Lucas is holding.
I think the glass is going to blow up.
Wow.
That
I
would
hope
be
not,
dangerous.
because it's
Let's
I
hope
not
think it's
not.
going
ours.
to bubble over.
That whole thing. And you want to make sure people can see it.
I think it'll turn into mush,
No.
like paste.
Maybe the instant snow will make snow instantly.
That's a good one.
All right.
Wow.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Stand back.
Ooh.
Instant snow.
Wait, can I touch it?
Yeah.
Emily, is it safe to touch?
Yes.
All right.
What does it feel like,
Does
Lucas?
it feel like?
It feels like
Is it wet?
it's dry.
Make an observation.
It's not dry, but like it's like not wet.
Is there anyone from the audience that would like to come up as a volunteer to touch it? Okay, we can have three. All three hands that are raised. Come on up.
All right. And while they're doing that, who wants to be my special host assistant? Okay, you're going to take this, and you're going to go, and you're going to get some
One at a
warm
time.
water in it. And you need to make sure it's warm.
Isn't that
And
weird?
hang on. I don't know where the warm water is. You have to find it.
It's not even like fake snow, like a
Yes.
mountains.
Warm.
It's like moon sand.
3 tablespoons. So I'll give you this.
Hold it up.
And you better come back with warm water. Hot, better. All
All right.
right.
Stealing your turn, Jasper.
So how's that snow feeling, my friends?
It feels like not snow, but it's like
What is
Your turn,
it?
buddy.
It's nice. What is it?
It feels kind of
It's
like
snow.
styrofoam.
So like magic?
Yeah. Except it's not magic. It's science.
Yeah, but what's it made out of?
I don't know.
Magic.
All right. Well, hang on. Let me find it, and I'll read it.
Thank you to our volunteers.
What is it made out of, Charlie? Chemicals, probably.
Yeah, chemicals.
Oh, it's like an actual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to come up and feel it before
Thought it
we
was
begin
like a make at home thing. You have to buy it.
So another thing about
Mom, you're
ensuring
interested in
that your experiments go according to plan is
Come
you
on
want
up.
to carefully measure out everything that you're
Feel
doing.
it.
And because this is television, I did not carefully measure out the water. So it was kind of a 50-50 chance whether or not we added too much water and nothing would happen. So at first, when nothing did happen, I was like, oh, well, we messed that one up. But it turned out awesome. But when you're doing experiments, you want to be precise in your measurements. All right. Are we still having fun with the snow, or would we like to do something else?
We can move on.
We can move on? Okay. So I have lots of things for my host friends right now. Okay. J-Dit, I'm going to give you this water.
Not for consumption.
Meredith, you're going to hold this.
Oh, yes.
All right. So everything that everyone is holding right now is safe,
Can I hold them?
but don't drink it. Because Charlie, you have soap. Emmeline, you have vinegar. Meredith, you have baking soda and water. And J-Dit, you just have water.
Where is this going?
So this is going to go in the volcano. But hang on.
Do we have a specific order?
That's what I'm going to...
All
Hang on.
right.
All right. So what do we think is going to happen?
Blow up.
Yes?
It's gonna, but not memento.
I
Does
think
anyone
it's
make
going
a
to
mess?
erupt, but like not shoot up and just like go down the side.
Does anyone have a scientific fact that could support their hypothesis?
Something that we put in is going to be a enzyme or a catalyst of some
Ooh.
sort.
Lucas,
The
you're
big
using
words.
big vocabulary
Lucas
words. Would you
did
like to
take
explain them?
chemistry, honors chemistry, if you can't tell.
I
Lucas,
don't
can you-
like to brag, but I passed that class.
Wow.
Would you like to define your vocab words, Lucas?
A catalyst is something that
Yes, it is.
causes a chemical reaction.
And Charlie, would you like
It-
to explain what you just did?
It lowers the activation energy, which causes the reaction to proceed at a faster rate.
I use my finger, so use your finger. Yeah. Charlie, what were you just doing with this?
Oh, I was wafting.
Yes, you were wafting.
the,
Hello, you're
so
back.
just to smell it, so you're not like sticking your nose in there.
Welcome
before
back.
you leave it over to
That has to do with science
That was
safety
a,
too. You're not supposed to put your
Science
face right up
do
in the
versus
glass.
science don't.
All right.
I just straight up sniffed it. Don't do that.
So are you ready for our experiment?
Yes.
Not yours there,
Yes.
theirs. All right, so who has the baking soda? Meredith, is that you? Yeah. Okay, so everyone who isn't Meredith, pour your stuff into the volcano. Try to get as much of it in there as possible.
What would happen if
Can
we
I
put the
step back?
instant snow?
But don't spill it, so wait for Charlie to be done.
Do anything? No, you need more. We should find out.
I know I'm not wearing goggles. I
Oh,
didn't have any
goodness.
goggles.
Charles. I'm gonna stand over here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just gonna stand over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Has
I'm
anyone in the audience ever done an experiment kind of like this before with baking soda and vinegar? Raise your hand. Yeah? Yeah? A lot of you? Most of you? Awesome. Some scientists out there. Cool, cool. This volcano was it was donated to us by Miss Lerner, who did our yoga segment this morning. So if you missed that, most of this stuff is from her. So
My bad.
we can thank her. All of it?
Tip that bad boy.
Slow and steady.
You're doing good.
Watch it be like too much for the bottle. Perfect. Oh,
Oh, it's already
Meredith, add yours.
It's like dripping out this way.
No, but look,
Krakatoa.
it's different.
Oh, wait. It's like foamy.
Yes. Does anyone else, Meredith, you can take it off now. Does anyone else have an observation like Lucas's on how the bubbles differed from the first to the second?
It looks the same to me.
It looks the same?
I'm sorry.
Okay. I would say that these bubbles are smaller and more tightly compacted than the first bubbles.
I would
look-
agree with Emily on that
It
one.
was less explosive this time around. It was a little delayed, like a little slower. But I believe it is also carbon dioxide.
Yes. See, Charlie's our resident scientist, so he should really be the one
Okay.
leading this. But, you know,
Now I feel safe.
3 tablespoons.
There's still more coming. Meredith, is it safe to stick your fingers?
Why not?
I don't know. Emily?
So, what?
Can we sprinkle some snow on there?
I mean, one of the best parts about being a scientist is that you can just experiment, so sure.
awesome.
I don't know what will
Can we make it
happen,
snow on the volcano?
I think I might.
but go right ahead. Look, it's snowing on Mount Fuji. Okay,
Oh,
so you're
that's
gonna mix
fun.
all of this into here.
Oh.
Mix all of this in here.
No, this into here. You want to mix it like real well.
How do I mix it with what?
Like, is there soda in there?
Let me just.
Yeah, there was a little bit.
Okay, well you need to wash that out, so this isn't gonna work.
Emily, we have another experiment, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All right. can we
But would
count-
anyone like to? Was your hypothesis that you made about this volcano supported or not supported? Who made a hypothesis? Emily?
I made a hypothesis that I said it was going to go down the sides more than erupt the way the Coke did, and I think it was supported.
Just
It did kind of spout out, but it didn't shoot up in the air with any kind of force. It kind of dripped over the edges. I don't know the reasoning behind that, though.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Sometimes experiments happen and we don't really know what we learned from them. But we did learn something. Maybe we'll find out later.
Molly, did you make a hypothesis?
Yeah, mine was not supported. I said it would shoot the ceiling and like hit the ceiling,
Oh yeah, that looks
and
fun.
that's not right because it just kind of went.
Well, that's all right.
But maybe if we try hard enough, it can hit the ceiling.
Yes.
I didn't make a hypothesis, but I made an observation. The volcano looks really pretty right now.
Yes.
That's my
it does.
observation.
It also smells very clean up here, so
But it is not.
it's
very
not clean, but
here.
it smells clean.
Yep.
All
All
right.
right.
So, Owen, are you leading the next experiment?
So he is preparing part of it. So what we're gonna do is that tablespoon clean? All right. So we're gonna use this bottle as our little volcano, so to say, for this experiment. So Molly, I'm gonna give you this, but you have to put your goggles on because this is hydrogen peroxide. And if this
And
gets in
glasses
your
don't
eyes,
protect your eyes.
yes, if this gets in your eyes or it gets on your skin, it might slightly irritate you. So a little story behind this. All the websites I found for this experiment said we should use hydrogen peroxide of a percentage higher than 3. And we asked our science teachers, hey, yo, where can we get that? Because they only sell 3% in the stores. And they said, wow, you're not supposed to use anything higher than 3. So the website I looked at was advising me to do unsafe things. So you should always check your experiments and make sure that they're safe before you do them. This is 3%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're fine. It was
I was
like,
like,
you
why'd
should
you
use
make me
30.
hold?
And I'm like, where do we get 30? And they're like, don't use 30. That's not safe. All right. So we need 1 tablespoon of dish soap. Who hasn't done something yet? Me. Okay. So we're going to put this over here so I don't spill it. Ooh, it's blue. Blue is on sale.
I think you need a little more.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
There we go. All right. And then Molly, you're going to add your hydrogen peroxide.
Hopefully it doesn't slightly irritate my skin.
Yes, I hope it won't. Awesome. All right, now Thayer, you're going to add your mixture. Can you tell the people what is in your mixture first?
I got yeast and some water.
What was the water?
Hot.
Yes.
Yeah, some
Hot
accidental
water.
Diet Coke, I guess.
Yeah.
Do we have
so,
hypothesis?
Hmm?
Do we have hypotheses?
Would you like to make hypotheses?
I think it's going to bubble up but not shoot out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
I
guess.
think it's going to blow up.
I think it's going to blow up. Meredith, do you have a hypothesis?
My hand is stuck in the jar.
All right. Okay. Is
Not
it?
science safety.
Lab safety is important, kids.
Dish soap.
Problem solved.
Oh, we got it. Yay! That deserves a round of applause.
Your skin
Okay.
feels slightly irritated.
I am here
So-
all day.
Hang on. Because I'm not really satisfied with the hypotheses that the hosts have been creating.
I hope
So-
it'll hit the ceiling.
So we're gonna do a little.
I think it'll change colors.
That's a good one.
We're reading minds here. We're gonna do a little bit of teaching. Do you guys know what a chemical reaction is and how we can tell if something is a chemical reaction?
If it changes in its composition.
Bubble. We got lots of answers. So
Color.
color.
Yeah, I thought color was physical.
I don't know, man. I didn't pass this quiz.
college physical.
What?
That's the easiest quiz.
That was the easiest one of the year.
Sorry.
It's true. One of the year.
It's very
No
true.
need to cry over your grades.
I'm not crying over my grades.
Wait, I think have we answered the question yet?
No.
Okay.
I mean, change in, it's going to be some sort of change, and we can tell it's a change. How? How do we know that it's going to change? Meredith?
Physically or chemically?
Either.
If it's physically, it'll change in state or color. If it's chemically, then it'll change composition, which would be hard to test.
And
Okay.
a chemical change you can't reverse. Physical change usually you can.
Yes. Okay. So now that we know a little bit about our types of changes, there, I'm going to invite you to pour your yeast into this, and we're all going to hope together. Oh,
It's going.
something's happening.
That 3%.
It's going a little slow.
Yeast rise.
You're right. Interesting. All right. Are there people that have baked bread before in the audience? Yes? Yes. What is the deal with yeast and salt? Is there... It makes it rise? Is there a specific order you have to add your yeast and your salt? Yeah?
Well, once you add the yeast, you add the salt to start the chemical reaction of the yeast,
Yes.
which makes it rise. Because it acts as a catalyst. I'm just going to steal the fancy word
Yes.
using
Okay.
said.
Well, I don't
You could
bake
say.
bread, but I know there's something that you're not supposed to add later because it will kill the yeast. I don't know, I can't remember what it is. But, there, what did I say to you when you went to fill up that cup?
Did you empty the Diet Coke out?
No, that was your job. So,
What?
like
Okay,
I mentioned,
if you give me a beaker of random materials in it, I didn't want to empty it in case they're important.
like I mentioned earlier, it is very important when experimenting that you are 110% exact with all of your measurements and everything that you do, or else your experiment will not go the way that you planned. So if you would like to see what this experiment was actually supposed to look like, it was supposed to be really cool. It's called elephant toothpaste. You can look it up, and you can just imagine that we did it correctly. We didn't, but hey, you know what? Not all science is an exact science, all right?
And now we have to explain why it didn't work the way we expected it to, and whether our
Yes.
hypotheses have to change.
My skin feels
Yes,
slightly
percent
irritated.
error.
Emily, what was supposed to happen?
All right, so it was supposed to shoot up really high and like foam out. So it kind of combined everything.
And we didn't add everything in the right order? Is that what the
I
issue is?
think that the Diet Coke that was in the yeast cup killed the yeast, and therefore we could not get a reaction.
No.
Killed our happiness.
Therefore, it killed this segment. So,
Oh no.
no, but what do we do if an experiment goes wrong? What do we have to do? To prove-
Revise it.
Go again.
What?
Do it again.
Cry.
Okay, well, we can't do it again. We can't cry.
Revise.
Revise.
Say
How?
why it went wrong.
Yes and yes. So how could we make this experiment better if we had to do it again?
Tell me
Not
that I
Diet
needed
Coke.
to empty it.
Make sure we
Make-
clean all our equipment
Yes.
before and after.
Yes.
I think this would be a good experiment to try again
We
next year
had
at the
it.
telethon
We
as
had an
well.
empty beaker.
No, that had hydrogen peroxide in it. Don't
Your
smell
skin
it.
will
That's
get
hydrogen
slightly
peroxide.
irritated.
Safety.
Oh my God, lab safety.
All right, so on this end of the table, we have a personal experiment going on.
Yes.
What is that?
This is more just like a science
Don't
combination.
eat the colored snow.
What are you doing?
So over here we have some.
So we had the dish soap and stuff, and then I added
Don't
the
touch
snow. Why?
We're stirring it around over here.
All right. So what is it?
Weird.
I never got to feel the snow, but this it's fine. I have
this
more.
Feels like this is gonna sound unpleasant because it kind of is, but
It is.
How do I know what it feels
it
like?
feels like wet bread clumped together.
Oh, it
Would
does
anybody
feel
like
like
to
wet
volunteer to
bread.
come
Yeah, who
touch
wants to
the
come touch our
new-
snow? It's 110%
Jasper,
safe.
come
It's
on
just
up.
soap.
It's safe. It's just.
You can come touch it.
It's just dish
It's
soap.
just icky
Dawn.
Oh,
and it's
feels-
messy.
It's cold.
Yeah, because it's
Alright,
snow.
Jasper,
No,
Give it a
it's not.
touch. So it changed, right? It's not as like soft anymore and light.
Yeah. It feels like Thanksgiving gone wrong.
Ooh.
Do we want to have another volunteer come on up?
Come on, you know.
All right. Come
Yeah,
on up, Ben.
Ben.
At the same time, it kind of feels
Busy.
more
You
like
want to come
snow.
up, touch our snow?
Yeah. Just touch the snow.
Thicker.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got,
How's
got
it
a new
feel?
texture about it.
Zach, Nick, you want to come touch the snow? No? Cool.
not as great anymore.
All right, so as people are touching the snow, that was all we had for you today, experiment-wise. But we can all agree that something did happen in that bottle, and just because it wasn't what we wanted to happen doesn't mean something didn't happen.
A change did occur.
Yeah, and it did grow, which was our whole theme, things that grow. So yeah, I think overall we had, what did we do, 4 experiments? We got 3 out of 4?
Yeah. I think it went well.
25% error?
The reason Emily led this is because Emily actually works at the Discovery Museum.
I do work at the Discovery Museum, and one of the things that we have for the auction is it's like a full year membership, family membership to the Discovery Museum. I love it there. It can be pretty expensive. So I would totally, 110%, bid on that auction item, and I would donate because the telethon is a great cause. And
we're trying to get
we're up here making messes to make people happy. So
40,000, please donate.
Yeah.
40,000,
No.
make it great.
That was cute.
So I think, do we have an auction coming up soon for people to bid on items?
Yes, we do.